in today's daily news, really wanted to focus on what the Barbados government started just at the beginning of this pandemic. And it has been a great help to the cruise lines, and I assume it has been bringing in some dollars for that nation as well. However, on the heels of me preparing to do this, I came across another story, and it is gut wrenching. My intention was to speak about the fact that the arrangement entered into with Royal Caribbean has allowed many of their ships to dock right there in Barbados, as well as to do the repatriation flights for crew members from pretty much all over the world departing right there in Barbados. This is a noble feat. This is a God bless activity. And even though it takes time for coordination, it gets done and the flights are departing and the crew members from all over the world are being sent home, So kudos to the government of Barbados. And of course, we're very happy that Royal Caribbean continues their exploits to try and get their crew members home. The sad news, though, that came across to me is the fact that a female crew member on Harmony of the Seas, which is the largest of the Oasis class vessels, took her own life. And you know my heartfelt position on this. It is gut-wrenching, it's painful, it's terrible, it's all those things. And the report says, and just want to see if I can quote my source here. My source is Star Comet. It's starcometwork.net. And so according to Star Comet, it is said that she was a 28-year-old assistant waitress from the Philippines. So she was last seen at about 3 a.m. heading to her room. And she was reported missing after a subsequent roll call. Her body was discovered at about 1 p.m. hanging from the balcony of her room by a bed sheet. This is horrible. The deceased crew member is Mariah Jackson. She was described as a new hire, and she was from the Philippines. It's becoming so common. The next line says her family has been notified. It's so tragic. And we're back at mental health states, talking about how much pressure, how much can we handle. These crew members basically were moving from ships all across, and a lot of the crew members on board the Harmony of the Seas at the point that this happened were persons who had been transferred from Vision of the Seas, Majesty of the Seas, and Rhapsody of the Seas. Up to the time that this report was done, there were in excess of 2,000 crew members waiting to be repatriated. And it's sad because it reminds me of the other story that we had for that young man from, was it Hungary, I believe, who just a few days short of getting to a port that would get him home, he also took his life. But the mental anguish, the strain, could never really express what would drive persons to this sort of an activity. Royal Caribbean states that over 25 flights from Barbados to the Philippines would be happening in the next 3 weeks through to June 30th. Maybe they have been given so many dates. As I know, I've spoken to crew members still on board ships, and one of the comments that comes out all the time is, we have stopped believing the date given to us that we're going home. When we see it, we will believe it. When we are out and home, or like virtually home, because you can't even say when you're off the ship heading to the airport or when you're off the ship heading to the destination, because many have also been turned back. So it's painful. It takes a certain pressure. It puts a certain pressure on the human psyche. Oh, heaven help us all.